Since Repair Clinic encourages you to perform this procedure safely, a warning icon will appear when you should use caution. For many double oven electric range repairs, you will need to disassemble the appliance. Before you attempt this, be sure to shut off the power supply to the outlet or junction box. You will also need to pull the range away from the wall so you can access the rear of the appliance. For many lower oven repairs, you will need to fully remove the oven door. To do this, lift up the front of the appliance and support it in the center. Now unthread the two lower screws, securing the door retaining brackets to the frame. Open the door and unthread the upper screws securing the brackets. Rotate the hinge locks back. Loosen the brackets and use tape to help secure them to the door. Partially close the door, then lift and pull the door toward you to remove. Before you replace any oven components, remove the support and lower the range. Then remove the oven racks. Use a Phillips-head screwdriver or a No. 2 square drive bit to unthread the screws securing the convection fan baffle. With the baffle removed, you'll be able to access the convection element, the convection motor mounting screws, and the fan blade. To replace the convection fan blade, use a 1/2-inch wrench to unthread the nut clockwise to remove, and pull off the old fan blade. Align the new fan blade on the motor shaft, then thread the nut counterclockwise and tighten. Reposition the baffle and replace the screws to hold it in place. Replace the oven racks. To reinstall the lower oven door, support the front of the range. Insert the door hinges into the hinge slots. Reposition the retaining brackets and rotate the hinge locks forward. Rethread the upper screws to secure the brackets. Close the door and thread the two lower screws to fully secure the retaining brackets. Remove the support and lower the range. To reach components like the temperature sensors or bake elements, first unthread the screws to release the upper rear access panel brace. Next, unthread all of the screws securing the lower rear access panel. Lift the panel up and out to remove. If you're replacing the upper oven bake element, you will need to unthread the screws to release the vent tube. Slide the tube to the right to move it out of the way. Next, disconnect the wires from the bake element terminals. Unthread the 3 mounting screws. With the screws unthreaded, you can slide out the old element. Install the new bake element by inserting it through the rear panel. Thread and tighten the mounting screws. Connect the wires to the terminals. Reposition the vent tube and replace the screws. With the repair completed, replace the support cover if necessary. Then reposition the rear access panel. Thread and tighten the screws to secure. To reach control panel components, unthread the screws securing the upper rear access panel. Disconnect the wire connector from the control board to fully release the panel. To replace a surface element switch, pull off the appropriate control knob and use the Phillips-head screwdriver to unthread the mounting screws, securing the bezel and element switch. Remove the old switch. Note the location of the wires. Then use a flathead screwdriver to help detach the wire connectors. Install the new surface element switch by first connecting the wire connectors to the appropriate terminals. Insert a screw through the top hole of the control knob bezel and align the bezel on the control panel. Position the new switch, then thread and tighten the top screw. Thread and tighten the bottom screw. Replace the control knob on the switch stem. Reinstall the upper rear access panel by first connecting the wire connector to the control board. Align the panel and replace the upper screws. Reposition the brace and thread the screws to hold it in place. To reach the surface elements, you will need to remove the main top. Open the upper oven door and unthread the 2 screws securing the top. With the screws unthreaded, carefully lift off the top. To replace a surface element, detach the element retaining clips from the support panel. Note the orientation of the wires, then disconnect them from the terminals. Prepare the new surface element for installation by transferring the spring clips from the old element to the new one. Use the numbers engraved on the base to position the clips in the proper locations. Connect the wires to the appropriate terminals. Insert the clips into the slots in the support panel and snap the new element into place. Reinstall the main top by positioning the rear edge under the control panel support brackets. Align the front edge, then thread and tighten the two screws to secure. With the reassembly complete, restore power to the outlet or junction box, and the double oven electric range should be ready for use.